there and welcome to my channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. Thank you for being here, and don't forget to drop your name in the comments and then I can come and say a personal hello to you. And if you have a channel, then I will visit your channel. So today we have a lot going on. We have, as I promised you, showing you some of the puzzles that my friend has lent me, because I was talking about doing puzzles last time. So I said, I'll show you the other puzzles she's lent me at the moment, because I was doing it on my phone in a different area of the house. So I didn't have them to hand, but I've got those to show you. And I'm also going to show you some games that I've got here as well, and other pastime items. And the ones I've selected for you, I was literally getting them while the countdown was playing. I thought, what one shall I show you? And what I've got is, in the Sun Lounge, I have a big dining room table in the Sun Lounge. Let me just turn you around. There we go. That's a little bit better. I have a big table in the Sun Lounge, a big dining table, but that's where I do my puzzles on. And there is an old TV, a spare one, that we didn't have anywhere for. And someone gave us an old unit for it. It's open, like an open, I suppose it was a TV unit, but it's got open shelves. But not very useful for storing things because of how it looks. It's literally got two long thin columns and one shelf. And I suppose that was really for just putting your video recorder or CD, DVD player, something like that on them. And I've never liked it. And the TV, we're pretty sure, doesn't work. And it's so old as well, you can't plug anything into it. So it's no good, really. So we've taken some old stuff down to the dump, and Mike said we'll leave that to last, because that's not a room in a place that's really affecting anything else sorting out. And in the bottom of that, as I say, there wasn't that much space. I did put a few games that didn't fit into my great big walk-in closet where I keep the games and puzzles that are mine. So I said to Mike, well, if we're getting rid of the TV, let's get rid of that awful open unit. It's black, it shows dust, everything that's on it. These games are very dusty. I don't want to keep dusting them. Let's see if we can put another shelf in my big walk-in closet, and let's get these ones on there. Now, we're not taking the unit at the moment because we've got a lot of other big stuff to take, but I thought, well, let's just clear them off, dust them off, and show them to you today. So that will be just a very small amount of the games. And they were ones in there that were appropriate if friends came round or we had guests staying with us and we wanted to play a game. These were the sort of easy, quick games to play, or games they could play just themselves if it was a rainy day or something like that. But now they're all going to go together in my closet with a nice door on so they won't get dusty. So I'm going to start showing you those today. And then, as you see, I've changed the title because for our Film Footage Friday, I'm going to show you another one of my awesome walks in my rural mountainside abandoned village where I came across goats. So this is me walking with goats. We also have Quote Corner coming up, which, of course, changes frequently. The quote for Fridays, each live has a different quote and then they change. And I'm planning, when I finish this live today, to update all of those and make new quotes. So this should be the last time you see this quote. We have story time, and it's a very interesting story time, so stay tuned for that. Of course, we will also have a question of the day today. So with a lot to show you and do today, let's start by showing you the puzzles that my friend has currently lent me. The one I've just finished, I have filmed it from start to finish. She came round the other day, so it's gone. So I can't show you the one I was actually doing. But as I say, I've made a video and I've just posted that on this channel. So from start to finish, it's different as the video goes on. So some points of it, you're seeing it constructed slowly. Some bits are time lapse, but some bits are showing you how I show you a piece and then I show you the picture, so you can kind of do parts of it with me as well. This one, Time for Tea. Now, my sister's bought me one, I think, in this series because it looks very similar. It's gardens and greenhouses and things like that. So this is a different one to the one that I own, but I think this is of the same series. Picture's a bit bigger on this side. So that looks a really nice one to do. That's my sort of puzzle. Lots going on in the puzzle. Not lots of sky and lots of grass and dock. Rocks and things like that. I don't like those sort of puzzles very much. So that one's called Time for Tea. I may well do that one next. This one, this looks hard. She's given me some hard ones this time. This is 1,000 piece. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't actually have a name, this puzzle. So, does it say anything about it? No, it just talks about the makers of the puzzle. Doesn't say anything about the puzzle at all, the picture, but we've got to assume that's Italy. On the canals. Now, this looks quite hard, doesn't it? You've got lots of dark windows. You've got lots of water, though there's different shades of that water. It's a very dark coloured puzzle, so these can be tricky. So there's that one. This one, this looks like this could be a nightmare. Some of you might love it. It's only 500 pieces though, thank goodness. Look the colours. That's kind of the bits I don't like doing, these sort of tree bits, but this is the whole puzzle basically. And look, the ground. That's going to be very hard to do. Luckily, as I say, that's only 500 pieces, and the colours might help with colours and the different trunks. We will see. As I say, I film all of these, film doing them all, so you can see me doing them. Oh, this one looks a nightmare as well. It's a group. She shares around with friends and then they all go back to the owners. Look at this one. This one looks very hard. Look. Oh my goodness. And all that sea and the sky. Again, there's different shades. Oh, look, a rock, a big mountain. So I think that one is going to be tricky. And this one tricky in a different way. Look, this is just too much of one thing. Let's say that. That's what I don't like. Too much of one thing. Dark colours. That one. Maybe it won't be that hard. We'll start with the eyes. I would think of that one. Then I normally sort out like all the same colours. So maybe the rug, sort out all the colours of the rug. Then maybe the dog and cat. The basket, will that be all right with the lines? Who knows? So that's currently the ones I've got. I gave her the one back because I do that. I give them back. She went, oh, I could have bought another one over. And I'm like, I've got plenty. Got plenty. It's my gardening season now. It's the middle of our winter. But if you see my other channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus, then you will see I start doing my seed germination in November, which is starting our winter. You'll see all how I do it there, how I grow in winter. So I'm busy with that now. While we're talking of puzzles, there are of course other types of puzzles. These were here. I put them in a box binder, whatever you want to call it. These I might put down at our volunteers accommodation. I might just put the box down. These are my favourite sort of book puzzles, if you like. This one says tsunami. They're called different things. And you colouring it tells you like what numbers and how many, and you've got to figure out what bits to colour in, and then they make pictures. This is my favourite sort of puzzle, like a book puzzle. So it tells you the numbers say how many squares need colouring in. There has to be a gap between them. If you're doing a book where it's one colour, there has to be at least one gap between them. And then you just figure it out where they go to work vertically and horizontally the numbers, and then you end up with a picture. I really like these sort of puzzles. Now, I've done some of them. I haven't done them all. If I want to do more of them, I can go down and get the books. So you see they've got different size ones. And also you get books where you use different colours, so they're more intricate. So there's one I've done. They get more intricate because you've got to use the right colours with the right numbers. There's another one, for example. So it might say 1 red, 2 orange, but because they're different colours, there doesn't have to then be gaps between them because they're different colours. So have any of you guys done these sort of puzzles? As I say, these are my favourite. The other sort of puzzles, book puzzles I like, are kind of codes where a number represents a letter on a crossword, and you have to figure out what number represents what letter. I'll show you one more of those that's done. So I'll sort out the ones that are done, and then maybe I'll leave those ones in there as examples. So there's a whole box full of those, and also logic problems. Some of these I like, some of them I don't. So I tend not to get mix boxes of them now. These ones I don't mind. And it'll tell you like certain information. You've got the grid on one side and then the information on the other side. And it will say something like you've got all names of roads, names of pubs, names of buildings like church, library, school, and then numbers. And it will say things like the Jug and Bottle pub is on the road opposite the Woodland Way, which is the address of the village stores. So you have to compute all that information and see if you can tick off what that is. And from all the information and deduction of something is something, so therefore it can't be somewhere else, you do that. I don't mind those sort of puzzles. And there's some Sudoku there. I'm sure you're all quite familiar with Sudoku. There's some Sudoku books in there as well. So as I say, that I think I will put down for our volunteers. We have a mini Scrabble. Oopsie. Oh, this is magnetic mini Scrabble. So it's like a travel Scrabble, if you like. That is that one. I'll put that back in there before I lose the bits. We have Sudoku, which we just talked about. This is magnetic on the lid, so you can use this again and again with a puzzle book, or they do actually have some in leaflets with it. So there's that. So they're travel games, basically. What else have we got here? The box. I say these all need cleaning off, really. They're a bit dusty. Oh, I know what this is. Oh dear. This is fun. Can't get out the box. It's coming like a mini pool table, like a finger pool table or snooker table. Mini snooker table, and all the balls are in there. Mini snooker table. That's quite good fun. Put that back in there. What else have we got? We have Trivial Pursuit. anyone in the, I think I'm going to say 80s, anyone in the 80s had a Trivial Pursuit. I'm sure if you know me well enough, you will know of the categories. When you could pick what category to answer, you would know what I would pick. Let me see if I can remember does it tell you the categories somewhere? Oh, it'd be on the cards. Let me get the cards out, and then you can tell me which category you think I would have chosen, and which category, tell me, would you choose to answer. We've also got some sort of mini version. Oh, I think you can play this. That's the proper board game, but I think you can play it travel. So this is when you filled in your wedges, and this is when you've answered the question. So there's a mini pocket version. I thought the small box was the questions, but that says pocket edition. Let's see what the categories are, because I can't remember. I know what mine was, and I know what ones I didn't like to answer. Oh, they've just got initials. That's not handy. AV, FD, T, SL, PP, NN. Doesn't ring a bell at all. Let's get out the big game. There must be somewhere that says what they are. The categories. Surely. Oh, categories. Oh, I think this one's different categories to the main game, because this says audio visual entertainment that can be seen or heard, food and drink, travel, sport and leisure, people and places, and now the news. That's not the originals, is it? Some of those are, some aren't. Right, let's get the original box out and see if we can figure it out from there. Okay, let's get the big box. Categories. Yay, found it. Right, so the original Trivial Pursuit categories. Blue is geography. Pink is entertainment. Yellow is history. Brown is art and literature. Green was science and nature. And orange was sports and leisure. I wonder if you could remember any of those if you'd played it. So what would I choose to answer? Geography, entertainment, history, art and literature, science and nature, or sports and leisure? Well, of course, it's entertainment. And tell me in the comments which category you would choose when you get to, I think if you go on a certain bit, you could pick your category to answer. Okay, now we have Cop-It. Cop-It. You can see just from the picture, this is very old. This has been probably one of my first proper games. Age 6 to adult, 2 to 6 players. And for Cop-It, I can't remember exactly, but it's a bit like Ludo, when you start in your box and you go all the way round. Do you go back in your box? Or no, I don't think you go back in your box. You just go all round the board anywhere. And if someone's in your way, or I think you have to land on them exactly, I can't remember, you go on top of them, because these are all cone-like playing pieces. So you go on top of them and you've captured them. But of course, if another one comes and lands on top of yours, they've captured yours. Maybe if you go home, you keep them. I can't remember if you go home or just keep going around the board till no one's left, apart from the winner. And I think there were 3 spaces. Yes, if you're on the pink ones, I think you were safe. So there was that. That's quite a fun, simple game. That's what I put out there, ones that I thought people might like to play quite easily. Then we have Chinese checkers, and I had this for years and years. It's tin, and there's little round balls that I put in the box. I don't know what that came in originally, but there seems to be no box for the pieces. Past the pigs, you have, as you can see, 2 little pigs in there, and you throw them like dice, and then how they land, you get points for which ways they land. One's got a dot on it, so that gives you specific, or if they land on their dots or something like that, there was something, and you got points for how they land. So again, another simple one. I tried to put some simple games out there as well as Trivial Pursuit. Oh, all-time favourite, still one of my favourite games for being easy and simple, Jenga. I'm sure you all have heard of Jenga. If you don't know, you build the tower up, 2 one way, then the next 2 the opposite way, 2 back again, 2 this way. You build the tower up before you begin. And then the game is you have to pull one piece out, any piece you like, pull out and don't let it topple. And you keep going and going. And if they fall down, then you're out. If there's a group playing, then you'll keep playing until there's one person left. Or you can even play on your own and keep your own scores to how many you can pull out before it topples. So there's Jenga. I do like that. These aren't my big board games. I have tons of those. Maybe I'll share those another time. I think this was free at some point. Yes, because it's got Famous Grouse on, which is a Scotch whiskey. So it probably came with one of my husband's at Christmas time. And it's a pack of playing cards and casino chips, like when you play betting, like roulette chips, let's call them. And I used to have a roulette wheel when I was little with the whole map with the numbers and the croupier's, what they call the croupier, his bar thing he pulls with, spade, paddle, I don't know. We have this game. I must have put these 2 board games, they're not board games per se, but these 2 games out because they must be easy to play. We have Counter-Strike. It says a unique, challenging game of superior forces, 2 players age 8 to adult. When you play, you attack and attempt to occupy your opponent's defense position, but you must watch carefully because if not, they will rapidly come back at you with their own strategy move and counter-strike. It's a matter of skill. Luck plays no part at all. There is no dice. There are no question cards, and you never lose any of your pieces. Interesting. It's up to you right to the very end. An opponent may just be a couple of moves from an apparent win, but you may still be able to turn the tables and counter-strike. It's very addictive. No 2 games are alike. The more you play, the more you discover how tactics can be all important. So that sounds quite a fun game. There's that. And this one I used to play a lot. I used to like this one, Stratego. And as you can see, you have your bit like chess or drafts, you have your playing pieces in front of you. They have numbers that you can see as to how powerful they are. So a bit like chess or drafts, but you move your pieces forward. If you land on the same place as someone else, you can choose to attack them, and whichever one's got the highest number on wins. So a very simple version of a mix of chess and drafts. I think you know how many places you can move each piece forward. I think it mustn't be more than the number on it, but obviously you don't want to give away your number of your power position, your playing piece. So that's pretty cool. And then the last thing I had out there was I've got a shoebox, and I've got all small games, if you like. There's Beetle, there's playing cards, there's Snap and Beat Your Neighbour and Jacks and the Rubik Cube and dice, counters, all small things in there. And that is all I had outside. So not tons to fit on another shelf. So I think that will be possible to do. Okay, so let's have today's quote corner while I take a little drink. And as I say, this might be the last time you see this one, but eventually all my quote corners I'm putting together when I get enough and make a video of all quotes. So look out for those. Okay, shall we do story time next? Let's do that. Now, as you may or may not know, on this channel, I am doing a whole playlist of my childhood memories. So do have a look at that, my childhood memories. And I found this book. It's by Andrew Collins, Where Did It All Go Right? About growing up in the 1970s. So I thought I'd share a little bit of that with you. And it says, my family, the Collins family, appeared as contestants on Teleaddicts in the 1990s. We managed to reach the dizzy heights of the semi-finals and took home a Teleaddicts board game and 4 fleecy-lined Teleaddicts sweatshirts. This brush with the limelight may seem like the wrong place to start a book about being normal, but as much as anything, it was a sign of the times. It is more normal to have been on a TV quiz show than not. I knew someone when I was working at the NME who'd been on 15 to 1, as had also his girlfriend. And I later worked under a bloke who'd been on Blockbusters. My sister-in-law, who was close enough to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire to have recruited me as one of her phone a friends. My future wife could also be seen in dancing to Hall & Oates' Maneater in a 1982 edition of Top of the Pops. Her brother was an extra on Grange Hill, and you can see my Uncle Alan's head in a crowd of people when Jeux en Frontiers came to Northampton. This was after he'd lost his rag with some noisy Europeans in the row behind and had thrown a pair of their dustbin lid cymbals onto the field of play. So, hold the front page. Tragically, the 15 minutes of fame granted to be contestanthood on a quiz show quickly fades. But let's not lump Teleaddicts in with other quiz shows. In those days, it was special. It was about families. Most quiz or game shows want you in ones or pairs, or school groups, things like Beat the Teacher and University Challenge. At that time, only Teleaddicts and Family Fortunes traded to the nuclear unit, and you have to admire their commitment to a dying currency. Of course, there used to be Ask the Family with Robert Robinson, open exclusively to families of university lecturers, and only then if they had 2 sons. It wasn't until the 80s when the American show Family Feud was translated back into English and you were invited to leave the sofa and flaunt their knowledge on TV. Knowledge aptly accumulated not from reading books, but from watching TV. Literally so in the case of Teleaddicts, where families were put on a prop sofa and given a prop remote control to make them feel at home. Teleaddicts moved with the times, and in 1994, the relaxed rules to allow workmates and friends to join in became more the norm. Back in 1990s, though, it was still a place for mums and dads and sons and daughters, and we were right there on display in the Petri dish of the early evening BBC One, a happy, normal family of addicts. The point is, and how unlike television as a rule, was there was no lies about this programme. Although I'd left home by then and had my own sofa and telly in London, we were still a normal, happy family. So we're going to leave that there. Let me know what you think of that book, and we'll see where that goes as well. Okay, let's do my walk with goats, and then I will come back and we'll continue with question of the day. So let's do our Friday film footage. Across the way here, you'll see the farm where I'm going to show you the goats. The spring would be the village centre. So you can see how there is nothing in this area at all. That's just the way we like it. So we turn left out of this spring drive, go to a goat farm. One of very many goat farms around here. Also sheep, horses, pigs, chickens, geese, ducks, etc.
I've on the farm. We turn back in a loop. When we get to the end of this track, we will actually be by the donkey sanctuary. And as I put in another walk video, this is where we come out down the road just after the donkey sanctuary. So you can always reverse the walk should you wish.
So I hope you enjoyed that. This is my local rural life. We see animals, but we don't see any people, because even the farmers do not live on the farms. So the farmers don't even live there. So if you want to enjoy our rural life, well, you know where I am. Okay, let's do. Oh, and some people do ask me on my other channel, if you want to see all those walks, they're not on this channel, they're on my other channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. So do go over there, and there is a playlist. I think it's called something like Mountainside Walks in My Abandoned Village, something like that. Whole playlist of different walks. And you'll see the donkey stable one there. The link is there isn't a link under here because this is my live. The walks are listed in my playlist on my other channel. And yes, people do ask me, are there no shepherds? Very few people go out with their goats. They go out if they have a new flock, if they have a flock from scratch, they go out with them a couple of times and take them on a route. The reason they have bells is not for the leaders. It's not that the goats follow the bells. It's for the bad goats or the newer goats. So if they get lost, then there's a chance of finding where the goats are. So the shepherds don't go out with them. A couple do, but that's only if they're taking them on a route and it's near roads or something like that. So not around this area. And sometimes, or mostly, the sheep, if there's a sheep herd, they will put some or all of the goats with them when they let them out. They just let them out rurally and they wander and wander, as you saw. They will put them because goats are far more intelligent than sheep, and the goats will the sheep will kind of follow the goats. Goats are far more intelligent. Few times you might see just a dog with them, and this is normally when they have only sheep or a herd of mostly sheep, and the goats normally lead, or some bring up the rear, but the dogs make sure no one comes near them. And I've just posted a video on my other channel where it shows this. They're walking past my fence, and my husband was near the fence and the dog was really barking at him. They don't let people or animals anywhere near the sheep or goats. So regardless of the fact my husband was the other side of the fence, the dogs will bark and make you stay away. They're not vicious dogs or anything. I think they're basset hounds have short legs. They look like basset hounds, but they've got normal size legs. I don't know what they are. Hunting dogs, I guess they use for as well. So yes, so no, we don't often really have shepherds. And as I say, if you see a sheep herd with a couple of goats, you'll think, oh, they've only got a couple of goats. Maybe, but more often not, they choose a couple of good goats and put them out. Then they do have the bells on the goats, because then the sheep would just be, But you'll see videos of where I walk with sheep like that, and the sheep would just come to me. So they're crazy. Okay, let's do question of the day. Let's do that today. What are we on? Friday, aren't we? Lost tabs what day we were on then. Question of the day. Today's question of the day is, what was your best thing about school? Best thing about school. For me, it was when the bell rang for home time. No doubt on that. Tell me in the comments, what was your thing about school? Someone will say leaving day, perhaps. Yeah, maybe that as well. Yeah, maybe that. But if you know, on this channel, I'm doing a series, a playlist of my childhood memories. And on there I've only done 3 or 4 so far. And I'm starting from my very first memories onwards. So at the moment, we're in my first school. The ones I'm on at the moment is talk about my very first school and my memories and my trauma. And it's real trauma. It's not like, oh, I just frightened to go to school. No, I wasn't frightened to go to school. But my trauma of what happened to me, maybe that scarred me for not liking school after that, because I loved school at the beginning, even though it was too easy. And after the first weekend, I told my mum, well, I don't need to go back now. There's nothing to learn. I know what she's teaching us, because my mum taught me to read and write before I went to school. So, yeah, not a lot to learn there. And I talk about what the teacher did, which was very clever to keep me interested at school, even though she had to teach the other children to learn. And the reason for my mum teaching me before I went to school is because all the other children went to nursery school first and I didn't. I just went straight to school. So that was a bit of a shock to the system. I never went to nursery school. And my mum assumed at nursery school they were going to introduce them to a little bit of books and starting to write their name and things like that. But no, it was purely play. It's like a play group, really, but it was linked to the school as a nursery. So yes, tell me in the comments, what was your best thing about school? Tell me your school memories. I love things like that. So anything you want to tell me about your school memories and your childhood memories. I grew up mostly in the 70s, 60s and 70s, but 70s was my era. Share your thoughts and memories of that. I would really love to hear that, very much so. Okay, I've done a longer one, I think, than normal today because I had to show you all my stuff. So we will be back next week. Tell me if there's a theme you want me to talk about on my lives. I'm open to doing anything pretty much. And I'm doing some on my phone. I couldn't do this week's on my phone because I wanted to take you out and about normally, but today I wanted to show you my puzzles and things. But tell me if there's somewhere you want to see on my property, my land, and maybe I can do that for a live next time. So let me know what you want me to do. And any questions, if you've got any questions for me, do ask me questions. I love answering questions. But we're finished there. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. I love reading your comments. So keep those coming. Hit the thumbs up for this live if you enjoyed it. And until next time, as always, have a very positive and productive day. Bye for now.